think you just did a duck.
Okay, shut up, farmer.
So
It's a thrill of one more kill.
sing it, boy. Damn.
The last one to fall.
I have the SpongeBob song stuck in my head.
Sweet
That's the-
Victory
the-
is just a
that's the-
classic, dude. I'm telling
Yep.
you.
It's
a
it's
classic.
now the Bubble Boss song. Hi everyone.
Welcome to this conspiracy-filled podcast that we're blessing you with today. General, would you like to start things off, man?
Yeah, I'm tired.
Oh, yeah. How it should be.
What'd y'all do this week?
Work.
Work.
Yeah.
Word.
I like 60 hours.
VR.
VR.
Must be nice.
Actually, it's not.
It is nice.
I took a few days off this week and didn't get on. I still like did clothes and stuff and shop stuff, but I didn't like come in.
I tried that.
People-
Ended up being
people
in here at
noticed.
2 a.m.
So
Made you put on those sunglasses.
what?
Someone made you put on those sunglasses.
I was doing so for marketing stuff. I only have mine and Jess's avatar to use, so I put me and her in whatever outfit I want for the marketing poster that I'm making, and then I
Nice.
just screenshot it and get rid of the background. And
That's
I was about to say,
Yeah.
you're dripped out.
if you ever
dude.
see me, yeah. Well, oh no, what am I wearing? Oh no, this is for I forgot what I was wearing. I think I wore like 4 different outfits today. Yeah, no, this is me calling for an end to gang violence. Actually, no, it's Memorial Day weekend and it's red, white, and blue. But, so-
a bit of a double
Yeah,
meaning.
fuck gang violence. Keep that shit up. But anyways, Memorial Day's
yeah. But no, if I do that's not why I put this on for Memorial Day. It was I had a goofy outfit on earlier. What am I wearing?
You're wearing the Crip top the
Damn,
blood
I look
top.
good.
and the Crip
Damn,
bottom.
not you. Don't ever say the red Crip, bro. You'll die.
But
Hey,
the
I mean-
boutique is why I did the glasses. I thought they looked more golfy.
You kind of look like you're about to take a swim.
In
Those are the
what?
same glasses the man wore in Lilo and Stitch when his ice cream cone got broken.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
yeah.
crazy because I actually am Cobra Bubbles, so that's my.
Bro, you already see
what I
that new
do in the real
movie?
world.
Yes.
I'm ready to see
Very
that
ready.
shit. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
Elvis
lie.
gonna be in it. The same.
What?
I already saw a little,
Oh, yeah.
little sneak peek of it. I thought that shit was pretty tough.
Yeah, Stitch was at
Yeah.
Graceland, bro. Y'all seen him driving around in the pink Cadillac?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Seen him on
Inside.
TikTok.
Hopefully they got your preacher to play Elvis, Bob Joyce.
Bob Joyce. I hope so.
Could you imagine? That's what he
That
comes
would
out
be
in a
really
fucking
good.
Disney movie.
Bro, that would be great. I want to hear him sing. Have you ever heard him sing?
Yeah.
I've never heard him sing. Does he sound like Elvis when he sings?
Yeah.
Damn.
It sounds like I figured Elvis would sound if he was 90.
Nice.
It's just,
Just
it's the truth.
So the
Anyways.
topic this week is I sent everyone a video from one of my favorite conspiracy YouTube channels, the Y Files, about whether the moon landing was fake. And one of my favorite things about it is that It's one of Devin's least favorite things. One of my favorite things is that he goes in and he covers all of the facts, or he covers the whole entire story and just
Makes you
tells the
believe it?
story. And then he tells you what can be debunked and what can't. There's still stuff in there that I literally
I still kind of that
have
drove me
articles
See, bro,
insane.
I feel like that's one of those like things you have to watch over 2 or 3 times to really get the hang of it. Like I watched it like once all the way through, and I was like, well, like I felt like he was kind of like he was debunking shit, but I felt like he was more towards it was fake instead of like kind of proving how it might not be fake. Like I felt like he was kind of leaning more towards one side than he was the other, and that's the point of the video. But I mean, I just feel like shouldn't you like kind of be covering it from both angles?
I feel like
Well, he
gaslit us.
does he does cover
Yeah.
both. He'll
That shit,
I mean
I was like, holy shit, it is fake. I believe it. And then he goes, but none of this is true.
no, he didn't say
Fucking
none of this is
bitch.
true. He didn't say
He
none of
did.
this
It was
is
just
true.
a
He
switch
No, he
cut.
didn't.
He was like, I was like, oh my god, there's a footprint. He goes, well, they covered that up. And he goes, this interview wasn't even real with this guy. It's not even this guy's name.
Okay,
Fucking
but
Bob.
things so just because they may not know what the video. So he goes over. So like, what was I guess what was the most before he started going through debunking stuff? What was it where you were like, damn that? Okay,
So
that's-
the shadows I didn't believe because when he got to the end of the video, exactly what he said is what I was thinking. Shadows look different the way you look at it, What got me was the background, how the background looked the same.
Right.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, that shit is wild. But then it ended up not looking the same after he kind of showed it. And then that weird like line part where like it would look like dirt, and then just flat. That's what got me. Where it looked like there was footprints here, and there was like rocks, and then there was like a line mid-screen where it just looked like a backdrop. I was like, damn, okay. That shit
I
do
think the
look
thing
fake.
that got me was like whenever they said that, like you can't see, you can see stars from the moon and stuff like that. It like in the footage you can't see the stars at all. It's just
But he
pure
made
black
sense
in
with
the
that though when he said the moon's so bright, you're not gonna see it.
So it's like light pollution coming from the moon, I guess. Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
basically like he explained it as like when you're at a baseball game and you look up, you can't really see the stars when you're looking for that fucking baseball because the lights are so damn bright.
I don't discredit that there was a launch and that
Yeah.
these astronauts went to space when they said they went to space. I
Right.
don't believe
The
that
photography was real.
so there's a lot of there's things he mentioned like there's no dust coming up when you're putting out how much 30,000 pounds of thrust and there's
But he
no
was-
dust.
He explained that though, that they turned off like the thrusters like 10 feet above them. They just kind of
They kind of
float
coasted
it
down.
down.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. He talked about the entry footage. He didn't talk about the exit footage. There was no dust when they left. Also, how did we get that? How did we get that footage?
It was. He said it was a remote control. It was remotely operated from like Earth or something. He said the controller or something that was recording the whole thing go up.
How did it watch
Can't
it
remember.
go down?
What? Didn't they put like rovers in the moon beforehand? Or is that like our first time going to the moon? I'm asking. I really.
I don't. I just so I don't know
I
enough
think we
to
had
answer
rovers
that.
on before. I think we had rovers on
'Cause
before.
I know like Russia and shit had rovers on there already, but I don't know if we
Russia had
did.
it. We had it.
I brought it up a few times before. For me, it's the Van Allen radiation belts, which he
Yeah.
touched on and didn't debunk at all.
I noticed that part. Yeah, it was like the one thing I was interested in. He didn't. He was just like, "Oh, we're just not going to talk about that." So I looked
Didn't
it up,
even touch
and
on
it was like, "Well, if you go through it fast enough, and it just." I looked up on Google. It's like if you go through fast enough, you get the minimal radiation, like nothing that can harm you. I'm just like,
So I also researched it more because he didn't touch on it, and what I found was because I think I even brought it up a few podcasts ago where I was like, how did these guys go there and not come back with 3 heads? I figured that out. They're so yes, they can go through it fast enough where yes, they are going to get radiation, and an increased amount of radiation, but not a lethal or mutant or superhero forming level of radiation. Like, but one thing that my research found was that level of radiation would have destroyed film, which they did bring back and develop pictures of.
Right.
yeah.
Also, how do you record over your first time ever going to the moon? That was also something that never
Exactly.
got debunked, or that actually happened. That's confirmed by NASA. I mean, and I don't know, man. I can't. I'm not saying we've never. I might be saying we've never been there.
I believe we've been there.
I think we've orbited it. I don't. I think I think in 1969, I think it was a piece of propaganda to bankrupt the Soviet Union, which
Me
it
too.
absolutely did.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we could have gone. I just don't believe what they showed us was real. Personally.
Well, and then he brought up some of the prop, like on the markings on the rocks that he never debunked.
hmm
Um,
The picture of Earth too, from
Yeah.
close up and far away. When he was like, "Oh, the person walked in front of it," never brought that back up. Never tried to debunk that part either.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. But that Van Allen the Van Allen radiation belt. I'm sitting here looking. Let's see. What is it? They had an average radiation exposure of 0.46, um, which is less. So they did get radiation from it, but they got less than a. I don't know if I believe that. I guess I have to. It's on the Institute of Physics.
well, I
site.
guess from when like their launch dates or something, I guess they waited for like the certain part of the radiation belt where it was like the thinner part, so they could go through it and not get
Well,
as much radiation as the thicker
everything
part.
I've seen was it's like going through it is like obviously it's not good for you, but it's not to go through it is okay because like when they did the Apollo missions, they weren't in it. They were in the belt less than an
They,
hour.
It's
But
so one of the things it says here is they receive 10 times the amount of radiation exposure medical professionals who routinely work with X-rays and radiotherapy machines.
that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with them though. They're dumb now. But anyways, no. But everything I said was like they would have been they should be okay, but it's just not a place you want to hang around in. You know, like you don't want to be just chilling in the belt. You got to get through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But electrical, and see again, this is we could probably talk to Hank or somebody about this, but like, how do they protect the electronics from the Van Allen belt when it goes through? Because they say it's egg shaped around the whole, that like you can't go like up and around. I mean,
Yeah.
it encompasses, egg shaped. I can't remember the name of the shape. It's got an actual name, but I was going to say it and sound smart, but I'm not. So, but yeah, you can't go around it. But I don't have electrical systems. I don't understand how the electrical systems don't get fried. I don't understand
Yeah.
how film that they brought back and got developed didn't get completely and utterly destroyed. And
Didn't he say that they like?
because you go through it twice, dude.
Yeah.
Like, in the International
Well-
Space Station is nowhere near it. It's like, if you were to look at like a regular like classroom globe, I think it's, if you were to take, they say, a dime and hold a dime next to it, the International Space Station is only that high above the Earth, and proportionally.
You ever
Also-
seen it before? Space Station.
What?
I mean, I've
seen
seen the
that bitch one
light.
time. Yeah, that's cool, huh?
I've seen him. Yeah, I've seen him about once.
That light,
It's
that
pretty
one
wild.
time, that shit was cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a
I-
live broadcast though from the moon? Sorry, I don't mean to change the subject though. So did they even
it was
need the
supposed to be.
footage? Well, they recorded the screen inside of the NASA facility or whatever, right?
It was supposed to be a live broadcast because it was televised. So they televised it, but what it was they had all the news stations. They were live streaming it through their cameras, pointing at their camera.
So then they didn't bring the film back, did they? Or
If they did, they probably tried, but they didn't. I guess if they live streamed it like they said they did, they wouldn't have had to.
Yeah.
Well, no, what I mean is I don't mean video film. They had picture. Well, yeah, I'm sure there was other video film but picture film, video film, all of that gets destroyed in radiation, or at least the technology of the time in 1969. I mean, that was
Yeah, I think what trips me out is just like nowadays it seems more realistic, but in 1969, this is like the first time they've ever even like thought about doing something like that. And then like, just imagine that's you and you're on the moon. Like even now, that's weird for me, but if you're on the moon, you're like, if you come out that suit, you're fucking dead. But you're like, oh, let me fucking hip and scotch around and do fucking backflips and shit. Like,
Yeah, like
what's running
same
through their
time-
fucking head?
how about when he fell and got up?
Yeah,
For
it looked
me,
like he was
if
getting
you
picked
wa-
up.
it does, and I think that was one of the things. I can't remember if he touched on that in the video that I sent y'all, but like if you watch it, people on there are teenagers on YouTube nowadays that could make more convincing. Like I feel like for me, I feel like it looks fake. There's so much
Yeah.
stuff that looks fake that it just makes me question.
Maybe that's why it's real.
I don't think so.
Because it looks so fake it's real.
I mean, yeah,
No,
I
I
mean, it's
think.
just
Well, I mean that could. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just lean more towards the. It makes more sense that it was with everything. I don't know, man. There's too much doubt for me to be like, yeah, we fucking did that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll change my stance from I'll sit here and tell you we undeniably didn't do it to I don't think we did, but you know.
Like I said, I think we did, but I do not think what they showed us was real. I don't think that was real.
yeah,
I-
and I
I
don't get
don't.
why we never went back after like the
Yeah, like why are we not going back? Well, they claim that they destroyed all that stuff. First of all, if this is something that took us to the moon, why would you destroy all that technology? That's what they
What's
claim.
there that they didn't want anybody going back to? So-
That's
Well,
that's
they
when you
were-
start looking at the
They
dark
keep
side of the
War
moon.
What was
Heroes
there that they were
prosthetics
like-
from World War II. Why would they not keep rocks from
They
the fucking
keep
moon?
the fucking shoes and wedding rings from the Holocaust to people. Like, but they're going to destroy a rocket ship.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What was on the moon that they didn't show?
That was so
Yeah.
bad that they don't ever want to go back there again. He was saying like, man,
So-
it had to be something from
Dark
ages,
side of the
ages,
moon.
ages ago. Yeah.
That was going to transition to that later, but I guess we're there now. But
No, let's just jump into it.
another video that
I watched
go
like the
with-
first 2 minutes.
so that was
Yeah.
I figured that would be a good segue. So they claim that they found stuff on the dark side
Right.
of the moon, and
So that'll be next podcast.
yeah, I mean yeah, that one, that's a cool one.
It's gonna piss me off when he's like, they found fucking alien brain fragments, and then at the end of it, he's like, well, it was just fucking strawberry jelly. Bitch.
I love
How
that
do you
channel,
think
bro.
the strawberry jelly got there? We didn't leave it because we never went to the moon the first time.
I'm just
Bruh,
saying,
I'm
like,
telling you.
he fucking That shit be pissing me off. He gets me. Bro, I was listening to it on the way to work, and I was like, hold up, this shit's interesting. I got to watch it. I started all the way back. I watched the whole thing on the way to work. On my lunch, I started it back over and watched it again so I could see it. And then I was like, this motherfucker. He had me believe that this shit was fake. And then he proceeds to say that everything he just told me was a lie. And on top of that, that fucking fish was already aggravating me. But I listened to him twice. Fuck that fish.
That fish was pissing me off, bro.
I like
We was
the
talking
fish.
in the group chat beforehand. And I was like, man, I love the channel. He brought up some facts, but like, dude, that fish can go get fucked. Seriously. that shit, I don't know why, but that shit just made me feel like that shit was set up for like some fifth graders or something. I don't know. That's some
Because
like,
it was.
that's some shit you'd see in middle school, my boy. But it was a good one. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Is Hank in here?
Hank.
It says he's in here.
Hank Hill.
Hey, we should pull
Yes,
him in
he's
here. I
in.
want to ask
He's
Pull
him
him
in
in
about
here,
what-
bro.
I
Let's
got-
get him.
Are we able to unmute him though?
Guest seat right here, right front and center.
Yo,
I don't think he
Oh,
can
yeah, we
speak
gotta-
though.
we gotta unmute. We're gonna unmute the audience, guys. So let's just, the bot picks y'all up. So just be mindful of that, please.
You get you a seat front and center.
Come on, front center.
Oh.
Let's get it,
Yeah,
brother.
just so you know, there's only 2 people out there in the audience.
Oh, okay. Word.
Taylor and Indy.
There's millions. There's millions live on YouTube. Though,
Yeah,
so.
there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 viewers on last podcast, so there's plenty.
It's pretty good. Pretty good
So
considering.
before I ask about like space electrical stuff, like where do you stand on? You think it was?
You were alive back then, weren't you?
Oh my God!
So
That's a serious
He
question. I ain't
used
trying
to
to
work
find
with
out.
this shit like that
I
with the moon rovers.
So-
I
so-
was alive in 1969. Yes,
See?
I was actually 6.
Hey,
So did
that's
you
how
watch?
it's here, right?
Did you watch it? I mean, is it?
No, not nothing my father was into.
Yeah.
But I've seen
So,
a lot
like,
of. We had been to when I grew up. We've been to Cape Canaveral for several launches, though. I've seen several.
Yeah.
But-
Were
So
you
go
about to
ahead,
ask Diesel?
So like, what's a little bit of your background for like people who don't know? I know, like briefly, you talked about you being in NASA or.
Well, I
that
did some
nature.
subcontracting for NASA. I'm an
Yeah,
aero. I
got
do
you.
radio frequency testing, so I'm very, very familiar with electronic stuff that goes through the radiation belts and stuff. And there is ways to ground that, so they use what they call a Faraday cage, which protects the electronics
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
from that, and then they ground the cage. So,
In space?
well, they ground it to a hub that they make that is connected to a grounding simulation thing. But no, you can go to outer space and come back without hurting electronics. Now, I am not familiar enough with film. That is one thing that I've always wondered, is how they brought film. Because film in 1969 was very, very delicate.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't answer that. Do I believe we went to the moon? Yes, I believe we went to the moon. Do I believe that the government got the stuff back here and gone, oh shit, it's all blank, or we need to come up with something to show people because we spent millions of dollars on this? Yes, I believe that the government could do something like that. You know what I mean? I don't believe that it was faked act as if we didn't go. I believed that they thought that we could bring the evidence back, and it didn't come back, and they could have, because there is things in the that I have seen that I've always questioned because of physics. One of the things that I always have met is the video that they show with the American flag flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is no air or
Can't
wind.
ripple. Yeah.
The guy
So
talked
you-
about it in the video.
You can't have a flag going in the
Can't
wind
ripple in the vacuum
when
of
there
space,
is
you know?
there's no
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
thing as wind. So, and I always thought that when I was younger, even like, how is that moving in the
What was
wind?
his explanation
It's
for that? He had
weightless.
one.
So,
The
I
springs in
didn't, I
it.
didn't buy it. He said that, yeah, that there was a spring, that the arm that came out was springy, is what
Nah,
they said.
even then, it just doesn't make sense, you know.
So now, I'm not saying that because I don't believe we went. Okay, just my
Right.
expertise and what I've
Yeah.
done. I didn't work in anything to do with the moon, but I have worked on the Mars rover, the Curiosity rover. Now, I didn't work in any capacity to when it was left or anything. I just did a specific testing for them.
Mhm.
But I do believe that that's on Mars right now. I do believe that the images that we see and stuff are real. Now, do I believe that we had the capability to do that in 1969? That's a far. I'm not so sure that I believe that type of capability. I still question how in 1969 we had live video from the moon,
From the moon, yeah.
when in 2025 I've got places that I can drive in my car and don't have live video on Earth.
So I thought about that too. Fun
Like-
fact: video. So video calling has been around since before World War II, and it never gained popularity in America, but there was in Germany it started gaining popularity, and they had
Video call.
video conference cafe or video call cafes.
Okay, but that was also through wiring. The same
That's
type
true.
of
Yeah, that's-
wiring
yeah.
as digital code, Morse code type wiring. That wasn't wireless from the moon. We did not have a wire that
Yeah,
stretched to the
Yeah.
You didn't,
know.
you didn't see the Ethernet cable that was reaching?
that's my question.
It was
is-
just
and
not
this
getting
is-
melted while the rockets.
That's why
flying up
that's
there.
why the flag was shaking.
you know,
They
So-
tied it to the pole.
is it possible that they had something back then? Yes. Like, I do believe we had some technology that could possibly make that a little bit possible. But the technology we have today, there's places that you can't watch video on the earth right now with the technology we have now. How did we see it from the moon with no degradation or glitching and stuff in 1969? Come on.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So here's my
But I-
next question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Why have we not gone back? And if we did go, why do we destroy the technology that we had to get there?
I don't know why they destroyed I have no idea, and I have no opinion on why they destroyed it. Now, the reason we didn't go back, because we had planned to go back the following year, okay?
Mhm.
But
Public
at that
interest, right?
time, with the economy and the way that the world's economy was,
Mhm.
we went to the moon specifically for the same reason we're on Mars now. is we're doing exploration to find something that can be used for positive gain on Earth.
I think it's
And
for
they didn't-
money.
And they didn't find anything. We found
Right.
nothing that was worth nothing on the moon.
So what are we
So
finding
why
on Mars?
would you
being
would
able to
you
live?
spend
General.
millions of dollars? Why would you spend millions of dollars to go back to the moon when you know there's no gain
Right.
to do it?
Yeah.
You got to remember, he's
know what
only
I'm
speaking
saying?
so far as his NDA will
Okay,
let him
now,
to. You know, it's
as
still
for
got
what
a
are we-
shelf life.
as for what we see on Mars,
I mean, let's be
I
honest.
can tell you one thing that I can tell you. Have you been to my world and seen the pictures of the rover that I took?
It's
tonight?
cool, dude.
You should check my. I've got pictures of the rover that went to Mars. Actually, I've got a picture on there, a 360 photo of that rover on Mars that NASA took.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but if you look at the wheels,
Uh-huh.
those wheels, they're 6 wheels. Okay,
Uh-huh.
they're made of a special metal polymer that was made specifically for it, and the wheel itself can withstand up to 380 something degrees Celsius and as low
Really?
as minus 190 degrees Celsius
It's
with no degradation. Okay, but in the first week, some of the rock formations that were on Mars pierced through those wheels and made holes. There is nothing on this planet that's strong enough to pierce a hole through those wheels. So,
Huh.
yes, we did find things there that would be useful.
Yep. We're gonna
On
make
Earth.
bullets out of that, bro.
Like, there is things that we
Fucking-
found that it is something
I let
that
the
we
fucking
don't
Indian
know.
tribes find those rocks. We're fucked.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole purpose of this.
So
And you still have to sell the money spending. That's why we haven't went back to like the government's space exploration has came to a halt, and we haven't done anything. And because now we're going to Elon Musk and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
I had to go
because the
to
government don't
private sector.
Yeah, because the government
afford it.
just won't. You can't justify the money it costs for what gain you get.
Well, it's also they're getting overcharged. What Elon Musk does these launches at 5 times
70
less than something or some astronomically
Yes.
less
Yes.
number.
But he's
Um,
charging $70 million a person to go.
Well, I'll write a fucking check right now.
Like literally, that's what he's charging. These famous people are paying like $71 million.
that's why you ain't
To
credit
be
card
on one.
debt.
Yeah, that's true. That is how I got my credit card debt because I went to. Yeah.
I want to go to the moon.
That's what happens
But
when you
yeah.
have a black card. I can do what I
The-
want. So
The rover that you worked on, is it the one that has the wheels that have like the certain design in it that puts a logo on the
It puts the trace on the.
So I seen a
yeah.
video of like they wanted to put something on the wheels, but NASA wouldn't approve it. So they came up with like this Morse code thing that means something.
It's dots. So they've got.
Yeah.
So only 2 of the wheels. 4 of the wheels are solid, with empty spaces in between where the way that they made it so it balances and moves. But 2 of the wheels have empty squares throughout it, and yes, those squares are smaller and bigger and smaller and bigger. Now, if there's a code that tells anything, I don't know that. But
Yeah, I
yes,
seen a
2 of
video.
those wheels-
What's it?
Yeah.
Mark Rover. Mark, what is his name?
yeah, Mark Rober.
That guy. He was saying that they wanted to put something on the wheel, but they wouldn't allow it because they didn't want any kind of, I guess, logo on Mars, obviously. So he made a thing to make it basically almost look like it's tread.
You know
He
what the
showed it how
coolest
it
part
looks like
about?
it's tread.
You know the coolest part about the rover on Mars?
The
to
fact
me-
that it's on Mars.
No.
The fact
So
that you
everybody
purchased
that worked on the rover, every single person, any person that did work on the rover, they made a ledger book. I've got a picture of it actually. And in the ledger book, they printed the people's
Keith
name,
Ledger?
and then you sign your name beside it, and that ledger book went with the rover to Mars. So
That is
my
cool.
name's on Mars.
Technically, your name's on
With
point.
your
Dude. That's
picture.
badass.
No picture, no. It's just
Oh, okay.
just my
Just a fuck your
my
picture.
name and then my signature beside my name.
That's sick as hell.
What if the alien that finds that
Do you
looks
know
at
how
the
many
picture
times-
and is
Get you.
like, "That looks delicious. Where do I find these?" Like,
You know how many people
You're
have
the
told me
reason that
over
we
the
have an
years,
invention.
like, oh, so you're the people that you're the guy that the aliens are coming to look for. That Henry McCoy.
yeah, yeah. You signed your name on their hit list.
You caused the invasion, my friend. You just
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
yet.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. So I guess I
don't
don't know
think-
where we stand. I don't.
I'm not so
I know
sure
where
that I
I
believe
stand.
that everything was 100% truthful in the video part of it.
Do-
But as
Man,
for
I-
actually going, I do believe that that's 100%
Do
true.
you think they found something that scared them?
No. Only
So
because
there
of the
is a
fact that I don't
whistleblower that came out, which and I'll just touch on it briefly because that's more next week. But there's a whistleblower that came out, a very high ranking. Not he wasn't a high ranking. It was two enlisted engineers that went in and they came in and they were troubleshooting some imaging software.
Mhm.
And that when he went in and he said that for 35 years he'd been waiting to hear about it on the news and that no one ever said anything, so he finally blew the whistle on it. But he said that they found structures on the backside of the moon, and he thinks that was a
Bases
big
or
reason
something.
why they never. Yeah, but well, he said they looked old.
Do you know?
But yeah,
Do you know what? That's another story. Like I look at things that are like way past the moon. Like,
like Mars.
I can't see that
well,
far.
no, not in outer space, but like some of the pillars that we've found that are made out of rock that are from like India over in Zimbabwe that are the size of skyscrapers and that have been there for hundreds of thousands of years. And how did they get there? Because there was nothing back then in those days to even pick something up or move that. But it's
like
proven.
ancient aliens type stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so is it possible that they found structures on the moon? I would believe that. Because there's a lot of things on
especially if
the
the
Earth.
whole
There's
entire
a-
moon is a base.
And well,
What if it's hollow,
I don't
man?
believe that,
It is.
Jesus. But I know there's a lot of things on the earth that can't be explained from a long time ago. If there wasn't somebody else that had way better technology than us,
Yeah.
See,
like
when-
a lot
see,
of things.
Why don't we
in
just ask Trump?
Yeah.
Elon Musk even better. But whenever
He's
you
got the
say
book of
that,
secrets.
it makes me think of like what I personally think it was. Now I don't know for sure, but it seems more to me like it was a not propaganda, but something of that sort to basically show the other countries like Russia and stuff like, hey, we've done this or something. Even if it was fake or wasn't, I feel like it was more in the tactic to scare Russia in a sense.
Well,
know,
I
'cause
think that
they
has
already
to
had
do with,
Sputnik and everything else before we were even.
and that's
The
what I
only
was
thing
saying
we were
about the
first
whole
at
thing.
space race was the moon. That is the only thing that we didn't beat, or
And
that
I
Russia
think
didn't beat us to.
That only reason right there is the only reason that I think that. I think that it was just because they had Sputnik already in the air. I think the U.S. was just trying to show that, hey, we're up to par. You know, we're
And that's
even a
why
little
I
bit better.
that's why I said I would totally believe that everything they showed was fake.
Right.
Because
Yes.
because when it came back, they gone, oh shit, we don't have any proof, nothing survived.
Exactly.
Like, holy shit,
How?
we need to come up with something.
Well, what's
Yeah.
weird about stuff like that is how can it go so long with everybody that was working on it back then, and none of them were just like, yeah, that shit was fake.
And what gets
People
me is like, how
have.
come?
But
Some
But
have
they
died.
get classified as
Just-
a crazy conspiracy
just-
theorist,
Yes,
and
yes.
you're pretty much shunned.
They're just
I mean,
blacked
it's,
out in that. Yeah, in that case.
you know, a lot
Well,
of
you look at a lot
what
of
we
the
talk about on here. If people believe, you get sideways looks at the least, but most of the time more.
well, you know, about 80% of all your we didn't go to the moon conspiracy theorists believe that the Earth's flat and we live in a sphere.
Yeah, no, that's dumb.
They
Anyone
sure.
talking on that?
One of my buddies,
Yeah.
the buddy I talked to you about that died of COVID, my good
Mhm.
buddy, he was a dead heart
Was
flat earther, man. He believed
Was.
totally believed that the Earth was flat, and everything we've been taught was just the government trying to sell us something to blah blah blah. Like totally believed it.
well, fuck, he ain't believing it now.
I'm like, motherfucker, I can take my drone right now and show you the curvature of the Earth.
Well,
Like, I can-
have you seen the
like, right now-
documentary, it's a newer flat Earth documentary where all these flat earthers, they spend all of this money on this piece of equipment they need to prove that the Earth is flat. It shows that the Earth is round, and they're like, okay, that piece of equipment is obviously just
Yeah,
not
I
good
seen
enough,
that.
so we need a better one. They get this
Yeah.
high dollar, and even then, and on video, this guy's like, I guess, I guess, like,
Is that
you
the
know,
one where
it's-
they like?
Yeah,
There was one like that where they were on top of the mountain and they used the light to shine through it, and they're like, if the Earth is flat, you should be able to see this light. It's not flat, then you won't see the light. And then
Yeah, you
you
couldn't see-
didn't see the light, and then I was like,
Yes.
fucking flashlight's broke.
hold it up higher. He was like, hold it up higher, and you still
Yeah,
couldn't
right.
see it.
So that's where the whole theorist things really get me, because the majority of those loudspeakers are just straight up crazy.
And then you've got, the government, and this is
Oh.
documented. They put disinformation about
sure they did.
things. I mean, and there's Richard Doughty is one of a former OSI investigator who his job for his entire career was to disseminate false information into like UFO and conspiracy
Mhm.
theory communities. And he's since become turned, which I don't think I believe. He makes my eye twitch, because you can't, like, you literally flip so hard from one extreme to the other that, like, I don't think I believe him. But he's there saying it's this guy that was in the government saying these things that I was told to tell y'all were lies, or that it was actually true, and all kinds of other stuff like that. So.
Well, see, and a lot of people like that, when you're talking, how could people stay quiet? Well, anybody
Government
that
will kill you,
knows
though.
that, well, that's right. Anybody that knows that type of information on that level knows that it's very easy for them to just disappear.
Yeah,
I don't know
the
if
Clintons
Holy
are
fuck.
still alive.
Holy fuck,
Yeah,
did you hear what
exactly.
Kai was saying? Man, and then that motherfucker had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like, he died of heart attack that night. Yeah, right.
And then
I
you
thought-
say, and you think, oh, the government
kinda
wouldn't do that. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would.
Oh, they would.
Bullshit.
Yes,
kind of like
they
Epstein
would.
killing himself.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
cameras just happened to go out that night.
See, I'm conflicted on that. That, like, you're facing them
That's a whole different
Just
topic,
put yourself
though.
in those
That's a whole
shoes of
different topic.
facing those charges. Would you
How
rather
did he kill
face those
himself?
charges or die? I can.
He's a high maximum prison.
I
The
don't
cameras
want
go
to
out for 10
get our
minutes. and he's
video
dead.
removed from YouTube, so let's not. Well, I'm not going to talk
I'm
about
just
how I
saying-
Yeah,
would
that's
do
what I mean.
that.
That's a whole different episode, brother. That's a whole different topic.
I'm
That's a
just
whole
saying,
different
he ain't
demon,
do it.
man.
Yeah.
But anyways, but to the government, I was watching another video of them, the Y files, and there was this dude that claimed he seen Did you see the one about the dude that claimed he seen the giant on the top of the mountain?
Yes,
Yeah,
he
but that shit was
disappeared, bro.
Holy
disproved, though.
shit.
I heard
They
like,
never
that shit
found
was,
that
like,
dude.
disproved.
He
I heard
died.
it was.
He
Dude,
died.
no.
they-
Here's the thing: the one that I saw, I'll have to send you the link to this. But like, I was really like trying to figure out what happened to that as well, because that shit was Andrew Dawson was his name. His name was Andrew Dawson. But there was like, no, I think that he faked it, bro. I really do. I think he faked that shit because like there was another video that I saw that kind of disproved his whole like saying like, oh, there's mountains and walking. It was fucking trees or some shit like that. Like some other YouTuber went up there and disproved it. And when I find the link, I'm gonna send it to you guys because it really like sold me on like, yeah, that motherfucker was faking it. I
Dude,
really did think
there-
that motherfucker was lying.
There are stories in every single religious sect and every single culture and across the entire world for thousands and thousands of years where they talk about
With
it's in the
drawings.
Bible they talk about giants.
Withdrawing. Yes.
Well, yeah, and I'm
The
not
question
saying
is,
that
are they
giants
still
aren't
around?
Oh,
real.
you think
I'm
you
just
think he
saying that
okay,
that
I
video
get what you're
was
saying.
bullshit because a video that he had following up to that, he was like, I'm getting followed by the FBI or something. And it was like a fucking blacked out BMW with like blacked out
The Charger.
Yeah, it was a Charger or something. And that motherfucker had loud pipes on it. How are you going to follow somebody when you got straight pipes on a fucking a Charger? Come on now. Let's be honest. It just didn't match
Loud
up at
witty.
all. It really, I mean, come on now. I just think that I'm not just proving that giants weren't real. I'm just saying that motherfucker was on some bullshit. Like that shit was disproven.
I can yeah, I would need to look into it more before
I'll send you the link, bro.
say where I,
Don't worry.
yeah,
I'll send
I
you the
want to
link.
I want to see that 'cause
Yeah,
I
don't even
saw
think-
the video, but it was just barely touched on, and I
Right.
heard this story.
And all he's known for is like dying over that because he came out with a video of like him like looking to the side and shit like it was obvious that he was trying to play a video of him obviously looking like he was held hostage. In my brain, he was just trying to
You
get
think
views or something.
Do you think
I don't
Barcode
know,
was
it
in the
wasn't-
Charger?
Probably. Probably.
Dude, we just this new guy was out there and Barcode was out there and he's like, dude, how come you're breathing like that?
Oh boy, no shit. I go
And,
saying it.
like, holy
Um,
shit.
No, but the Giants thing, like, have you heard about the Giants in Kandahar? Like, that,
yes, dude. So I was
yeah.
sitting here, I was waiting to work that in, but yes, I'm glad you brought that up. There's special forces teams or
Mhm.
whistleblowers from special forces teams,
right?
who blew the whistle because he was like, that was my friend. He died. You're lying. You lied to his family. Like, I mean, and so there was, I think it was just one guy. I don't actually think it was multiple specifically with that one story, but they were, yeah, it was in an Afghanistani mountain. They were out there doing a patrol and they came across a cave.
Mhm.
And one of these guys ends up getting impaled by like a
Right, yeah.
ginormous spear,
Spear, yeah.
like a 9-foot fucking spear, and they said a huge giant. I think they said between 12 and 14 feet tall walked out of this cave, and they ended up engaging this
Mhm.
giant, and I think more than just that guy that got impaled died.
Right.
But
So
ended up
there-
having to get emergency extracted out of there.
there's a channel called the Lore Lodge who covers the Kandahar incident with the Giants, who does a very, very good like analysis on the whole incident itself and brings in facts to it as well as maybe debunking some things. But overall, the Lore Lodge, he does a very good video on it. So just a little shout out there. But I agree, man.
Yeah.
I think that shit was. I mean, I could see it. I could see it happening. I mean, then again, you got to think about Native Americans and
All I
other
know
lore
is if
here
there's
that's-
giants out there that big, and they've managed to stay out of the sight of as many human beings that are in like this area for that many, I ain't fucking with those motherfuckers. I ain't going to look for them.
Like
That's for
Cabos.
fucking sure. Like,
And you got to think there's so much
Like-
like uncharted land. Like even here in the U.S., like we think, oh yeah, there's a bunch of land that we haven't even fucking discovered yet. But compared to other countries like Afghanistan or anywhere else, I mean, like it's so much wider
Uncharted,
than it is
yeah.
here in the U.S. Yeah, exactly. So it could be way more plausible in that area than it could be in the U.S. for sure.
Starting to think Devin's a fucking apprentice as much as
I
he's
was
talking.
I was just gonna say, yo, dude. Every time I look over there, it looks like he keeps on doing like he's about ready to say something. So I'm waiting for him to talk.
Hey, you have a laptop?
Like,
Yes, why?
Okay. We're gonna give you a job. You're
Oh,
gonna be
yeah, he's gonna be-
You're gonna be Jamie from Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. You're gonna bring up the videos. You'll
Problem
be
is
the
Devin can't
editor.
read.
I
Be like, all right, we're gonna be like, all right,
read.
play that video, Devin.
No, I'm just listening because it's all intriguing. But like, so y'all believe in like the giants and y'all believe in the dragons?
Now he talks.
So,
Now he talks when it turns into fucking furry shit.
oh my god,
Motherfucker, a dragon ain't even, it's scaly, bitch.
How do you know they're not real?
Well, I mean, see, people say they're not real, but every culture has like drawings of dragons and shit, like on
Yeah.
their walls or everything like that.
Yeah,
And cultures that have never met or collided, they're all gonna have the same mythical creature and stories.
do I believe there
Bro.
was a such thing as dragons? Yes.
Yes, yes. See?
Yeah. Now,
bro,
do
I believe
that
in
there's
Bigfoot
dragons
more than
now.
I do dragons.
Well, not
it
now,
makes-
but like,
Hmm.
It,
What
Everything
about
goes
when
think
I
about
extinct.
it.
my
What
balls
if,
across your face?
what if dinosaurs just didn't go extinct when we all think and they claim that they did? What if all of these old legends of dragons that was the
Giants and
last that was
dragons
the
and- yeah.
last remnants of dinosaurs?
I
It
think
makes
you're
sense,
right, man.
especially when what the closest living relative to the T-Rex is a chicken, which is a bird. Most raptor.
bro,
Raptor is all falcons, eagle. Those are all classified as raptors. I mean, dinosaurs are more closely related to modern day birds, so it makes sense if you think about it that a flying lizard, when they had this realization, it kind of, I feel like it added more validity to that. You know,
Did you
that
see the dragon
probably
tail
did
that they
very
found?
much exist.
and I think it was the amethyst that they found. Like, it was fossilized, but it had like feathers on it on the
I
tail.
used to watch Dragon Tales.
No, not the show Dragon Tales. Like, it was like crystallized in amethyst. It's like the
You
tail of
truly
like
do
a
love
dinosaur,
him,
but
don't you?
it was feathers on it. I'll send you the picture.
Devin, can you spell amethyst?
No, I ain't gonna. I know there's a Y in there somewhere. I ain't no.
I know there's a Y in there. Oh,
Can you?
God.
Amethyst? I think it's AMYTHEIST.
That's Amy
US.
Fist.
I thought there is a Y in there. I never said I could fucking spell it. I didn't use the word.
Don't you? Hey,
I
listen.
say, get
look,
fucked. This ain't no
you know
spell
those?
bee.
You know those
That's the last time you heard
glasses?
me say amethyst.
It's
You know those
it's literally
glasses
a
that you wear?
amethyst.
Those glasses that you got on say, "Hey, spell amethyst." It'll tell you.
How you like them?
I do like them.
Yeah.
I like them because I can record videos.
That is pretty badass.
That's actually why I want them, but I think we're recording different kinds of videos.
Well, see,
I want them. Actually, I'm waiting until the
No,
next.
no, we
version
could do
comes
it that
out
way.
in about
you can
7
record
months.
3-minute videos. I mean, that gives you 2.5 minutes to spare.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, thank God
Yeah.
they had the foresight to give me 3 times as much time as I last. You know.
That's what I'm saying. The good thing now you can film the cleanup too, all in one,
It
no
was-
breaks.
Oh my
was found
God,
in
bro!
amber.
It was found
Yeah.
in what?
I don't know what to do with the other.
The
2
dragon
minutes and
tail
50
was
seconds.
found in amber. Yeah.
In a large
Yeah.
piece of amber. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. Here.
Who's laughing?
Yeah, I just sent you the picture, Kai.
Sound like Barcode's fat ass.
That was barcode. That was barcode.
Who the fuck is Flocko?
Flocka?
The motherfucker in the seat behind you.
How the hell did he get in
Oh,
here?
Damn, boy. What
That's
up,
cool.
gang?
But yeah.
How did he get
it's-
in
Is
here?
that Toe?
It's 5:56 a.m. for me, even though I'm on the East Coast.
That motherfucker just flew through the. That's Toe, right?
I think it's
Motherfucker
time
just
to wrap
flew
this
through the
bitch up,
wall.
podcast.
That was Toe. Yeah, the
I did.
Flocko was Toe. That motherfucker flew through the wall.
Anyways, yeah.
Well, thanks
Cool,
for having
so-
me in here, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
Awesome,
telling us.
man.
I was actually
Awesome.
really curious. I'm glad you were in the audience because I was wondering about like I knew there had to be something, but I'm not smart.
You
enough.
brought in some really good insight to what we were kind of topicing on, so very good, man.
Well,
We
actually, when you
appreciate
started talking about it, and I'm sitting there, and then you started saying, "Well, I don't believe the moon landing was," I'm like, dude, don't even go.
it. Well, guys, I hope
don't.
y'all enjoyed us.
No, it's real,
And,
bro.
You're not real.
How is this guy getting in here? He just flew through the window. He just
he's my
walked
mom.
right through that window.
He's my mom.
I think it's
Hi,
just
Mom.
Toe. I think it sounded like Toe
Who's
when
Toe?
you unmuted it. Toki, a script wizard.
Ah,
Sounded like him.
Yeah, we gotta edit that out. That's probably an alt account.
I didn't say the name. Oh no, did I? No, I
You
didn't.
did.
Oh.
Dumbass.
Oh.
like fucking 8 times, dude.
That's why you get in trouble.
That's why he needs to be the.
That's
fucking-
definitely
he needs to be
barcode out
Jamie.
there too.
I told
Yes,
y'all.
it is.
he's back
We need
in.
this. We need the screen so bad so we can be like, Devin, pull that up on the screen.
Yeah.
All right, so can we properly film an
out.
outro right now? Or
We're gonna
It's
film
gonna
an
be-
Yeah,
Yeah,
outro.
Drizzly,
All right.
you got this.
all right, guys, thanks for joining us on the Generally Speaking podcast. Make sure to tune in next weekend. We're going to be talking about Kai Cephas. What are we going to be talking about?
Structures on the moon.
Structures on the moon. You heard it from the man himself, man. Again, thank y'all for coming out. We'll see you on the next one. Pow pow. We're good.
What was that? Pow, pow.
Pow pow. Y'all don't fuck with the Western shit. Y'all don't like my finger
That was
guns.
goofy.
You know, it's
Says
goofy.
barcode.
Very, very,
Says
very.
barcode.
good.
Go put some fucking water in your CPAP real quick. Holy shit. Talk about
I
my
did that this
fucking
morning.
friend like
Talk
that.
about
You out there
goofy.
breathing behind the wall.
I'm not breathing loud. I promise.
You're not breathing loud. I'm very proud of you.
I was muted, all right. I was
He's-
breathing quite loud.
He's
Breathing quite normal.
he's not breathing loud right now.